In this video, I'm going to show you how to put together this Mainstays 6-shelf metal frame bookcase. And it's going to be pretty simple, I'm sure, but sometimes you just want to see a video instead of reading the instructions, and that's why I'm making this video. So, let's get to it. The first thing I want to point out is this right here. It says right on the label, attention, hardware attached to end of ribbon. So, I'm guessing that the hardware is attached to the end of the ribbon, but not anymore. So just be careful of that. It's somewhere in there. Don't throw the box away with the hardware. So we're gonna open this up, take all the pieces out, and then we'll start putting it together. There's the hardware. So everything's out of the box, including the instructions if you want them. And I've laid out all the pieces here according to these letters right here. So these are C, these are D. These are all the same here except for this one. So these are all the shelves. And then this is the top piece. And then you have all these that say E on all of them. And then all the hardware. You got bolts, screws, an Allen wrench. This is an anchor kit. I'll show you how to attach later. And then little feet, really little adjustable feet. So find a nice flat surface, plenty of room to work with. I'm going to use this right here and we'll start assembling. So we're going to start with these two pieces right here. These are labeled C, and if for whatever reason they're not labeled, the difference between these and the other pieces are they don't have this cross section right here and they don't have this threaded spot right here. So we're going to take these and lay them down just like this. And then we're going to grab a couple of these that are labeled E. They're all the same again. Now we're going to open the bolts right here. Take a couple of those out. Actually, we'll take all of them out. Put them off to the side. Also going to grab this Allen wrench. Okay, I'm going to start by installing this bottom one. Really, it's the back side of the shelf. And they're going to go like this. So you can see right here, there is a hole with an indentation. There is also a hole on these with an indentation. The difference between that and this, you actually want this facing the top of the bookshelf like this, and these facing towards the bottom of the bookshelf. That way, when you go to put the screws in up into the shelves, the heads of the screws are kind of set in. So I'm going to hold it like this. I'm going to do the one on the floor first. It'll just make it easier to assemble this. A little less struggling. Start these by hand so I don't cross thread anything. And then I'll just tighten this up a little bit. I'm not going to go super tight. And then I'll do the same thing up here. Make sure that indent is going towards the bottom of the bookshelf. Tighten it. Then I can take this side, hold it up like this, and put bolts in on this side. The rest of these I'm just going to do by hand until I get all of them together, and then I'll tighten them all down with the wrench. Now I'm going to grab 4 more of those, the E bars, and I'm going to do the same thing in these locations. So same thing on these sides. There's an indentation right here. So you're going to want that to face the outside. And I'm telling you that now because I messed up and didn't do that on the other side. So I'm going to put these bolts in and just flip that real quick. This will be a quick fix, but you can see there's no indentation there. At this point, before we move on, I'm just going to take that Allen wrench and tighten up all these bolts. Make sure it's going to be nice and stable. I'm going to hold this so it doesn't spin. Tighten that down. Well, putting it up like this will make it easier. So now we're going to take these pieces that are labeled D And the threaded part right here is going to be for the bottom of the bookshelf. So we're going to take this side, and remember the indentations on the side go like this, and they're just going to go right in here. Just like that. Same thing on this side. Indentations facing out, threaded part facing down. Now we take the rest of these pieces and do the same exact thing that we just did here. And putting these bolts in, keep it all together. Now I'm going to tighten them all with the Allen wrench. And again, this can be loose right here. So I'm going to make sure to hold it tight, like that, and then tighten it. Some of these can just go all around, so I'm just going to hold it and try and line it up with this one at the same time, like that. Good. I'm going to open up the part where these adjustable feet are. They look like this. There's 4 of them. They're going to go in that spot right here that has the threads. And this is so if you have an uneven floor, you can raise up 2 of the legs or 1 of the legs or whatever the case is to make the bookshelf level. I'm going to put this off to the side. That is the top shelf. And then all of these are the same from front to back. These are finished on both sides, all 4 sides actually. And then if you flip this, you'll see right here, little hole. There's a couple of these around here. That is going to face this way on this. So starting from the bottom, I'm going to install the shelves. So it goes in just like this. And those kind of hug around this. And then you can take the wood screws that are supplied, and they're going to go in each one of these and into that pre-drilled hole, which is going to attach the shelves. I'm not going to go crazy. You don't want to strip it. That should be good. Now, it does say very clearly in the instructions not to use any power tools for any of this hardware, but I'm going to. So if you're careful, I think it's going to be fine, but you do whatever you want to do. So there's 6 screws per shelf. I'm just going to go in here, make sure it's in that pre-drilled hole. And just do that. Just get it tight to this bar. And I'm probably going to rotate this around a couple times just to make this easier. Okay, now we just do that with every shelf. Here's a good example of why you should line these up. You can see there's a gap right here on this shelf, and down here it's tight. So I missed that one. Not that it's a huge deal, but if you want it to be nice and even, like that, you can tighten this back up. Now for the top shelf, it should have this label. It'll say A, and all the screw holes are on this side. So I want to flip it, and then you'll see 1 screw hole right here. And what that's for is this safety strap right here. This attaches to the shelf, and then you attach it to the wall so it doesn't fall over. So there's a hole here and a hole here. You attach it like this, with this washer and then this screw. Put the washer right here, the screw in there. And I am going to finish tightening that with a hand screwdriver, just so I don't strip it. And now we can install the top shelf. So it doesn't matter which way you put this, because these are kind of the same. So I'm just going to put it like this and install these screws. So this top shelf moves around a lot more than the other ones. So you really want to make sure that you're in the pre-drilled holes. I'll get one, I got one up here, and then I'll get one at the bottom before I go flipping this. You should be able to feel it. And if not, if you look real close, if you have to, you can pull this away a little bit, and then you can see the hole. Make sure that that screws in there, like that. Okay, now we can stand it up and put it where it's going to be. So as far as the safety strap goes, you have two options on how to attach it to the wall. You could find a stud, or you can use the supplied anchor. So this is the anchor. You would just drill a hole slightly smaller than this and hammer this into the wall and then attach the screw, and that should hold it, but a stud would be way better. And it just so happens that I can maneuver this around to hit a stud, because if you look, there's an outlet right here as a tip of how to find a stud. If you go under the outlet, just to confirm, I know that there's a stud on either side, but if you look at the baseboard right here, there's a nail, and that should be into a stud. So I know that there's a stud on this side of the outlet. So I can measure up top, and I should be able to adjust this shelf to get into a stud. We'll go 18 and a half. Small mark. Nice. So that was pretty easy, but if you don't like reading paper instructions and you would rather watch a video, I hope this video helped. It's a little out of level. I think it needs to go up this way, but now I can adjust the feet. Other than that, it's going to be perfect. So, thanks for watching.